Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2005 movie Hellraiser Hellworld. So, in this movie, a group of gamers participate in an online role-playing game called Hellworld and are invited to a rave whose host plans to show them all the truth behind the Cenobite mythos. And this movie is something else. In a way, I kind of enjoyed this one. It's kind of got it so bad it's good quality to it. It's not necessarily a very good movie, but it has some fun moments, and it has some of the more likable characters out of this franchise. Like, this is one of the ones that actually has a group of characters that I actually kind of liked and kind of felt bad for when they died and everything. And it has a pretty decent cast in here. There's a couple of big names. One of them wasn't a big name yet. This was one of his first movies. And then there's another big name in here. So you got Catherine Winwick is Chelsea, the final girl of the movie, and she's okay. Her performance is not super great, to be honest. She's kind of so bad that it's fun to watch her acting, because her acting is like laughably bad and everything, but the character is kind of likable and stuff, and the actress, you can tell, is trying, but her acting just is not super great, but it's kind of humorous at how bad it is. And you got Christopher Jacot as Jake, he's kind of her love interest and stuff. He's an okay character. He's not one of my favorite characters. He's kind of the generic boyfriend character. Then you got Kari Payton as Derek, and he's a pretty likable character. He's one that has asthma real bad and stuff, and he gets kind of a brutal kill and stuff, but he's pretty cool. And Anna Tolput as Allison is pretty likable too. And she doesn't have a lot of screen time, but she gets a brutal death. So all of them are great. And then you got the standout of the entire movie for me, even over a well-established actor. There's one actor in here that just steals the show every time he's on screen to me and made the movie as good as it is, and that's Superman himself. Henry Cavill is in this movie, and whenever he's on screen, he just steals the show. He's just absolutely great in here. You could tell that he had a good career ahead of him, and he's still a pretty underrated actor. This movie isn't necessarily anything greater. It's not even going to be one of his best movies, but him being in here is a huge highlight and is a big reason why this movie is so tolerable for me, because he plays this douchey character that's completely different than Superman, but he does a really great job playing the character. And even though he's kind of douchey and stuff, he still has a likable charm to him and stuff like that. I still didn't want to see him die. And maybe it's also just because when I look at him, I see Superman, and I just think he's great. And he was really good in this. I just wish that he could have been in here even more, though, because he dies like halfway through the movie. So I wish he could have been in it a lot more, but he was great in here. And then the other actor, the one that's actually a well-established actor, is Lance Henriksen, who is an actor that I've started realizing how much I've liked over the last few months after watching the Alien movies, and I've seen him in a few other things in recent months that I'm starting to recognize him a lot more now than I used to. And I've always kind of known him, I just didn't really know his name, and now I'm starting to notice him even more. He's a pretty good character actor, and he's actually one of the new villains of the movie, and I actually thought he was a really good villain. And his motives are pretty good. He's got pretty understandable motives, and he did a good job playing the character and stuff. So he was a highlight as well and everything. And this movie has pretty decent pacing. The first act goes by pretty quickly. It does slow down a little bit in the second act. Like I said, after Henry Cavill's character dies, I kind of lost interest for a little bit, but it picks back up in the third act, and it has a pretty good ending. So I actually like this one a little bit. I don't love it. I wouldn't say it's a great movie or anything, but it's a fun movie. It's one of those movies that I could turn on for a little turn my brain off movie or have it on as a background movie and enjoy it for what it is. But it's not a super great movie. Pinhead in here is once again great. This is the last time we'll see Doug Bradley in the role, which I'm kind of sad about, because or that we've seen him in the role so far. I mean, that doesn't mean he'll never come back, but it's pretty sad. He was once again wasted in this one, like he is in every single one of these movies. Even the original Pinhead is wasted in, which the original it makes sense on in the context of that story, and even in the second one, but it's like they could have at least done a lot more with Pinhead in these sequels. If you're gonna make crappy sequels, at least give us more Pinhead. But this one was a fun movie. It has that mid-2000s feel to it and everything, and I also kind of felt a little bit of the nostalgia from that too, because I grew up in that time period. So actually I was in my early teens when this movie first came out. I remember when it first came out. I never saw it though until tonight. But it was a fun movie. Not super great, but it is one of the better movies in the franchise. It's actually going to be in my top 5 for sure, and everything. Not necessarily because it's a good movie though, because like I said, this franchise is not very great, but this movie was okay. Enjoyable for what it is. If you turn your brain off and just go along with the ride of this movie, I think you could find some enjoyment in it. But anyway, so I'd say I'd give it a 6 out of 10. Like I said, it's enjoyable. Henry Cavill really just saves this movie, and between him and Lance Henriksen, I had a lot of fun with this movie. I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much if they weren't in it, but yeah, so anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Hellraiser Hellworld, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.